Yeah, guys. So let's get started with the third session in C language, that is, history of C language. So in the last session, we discussed about something like different types of languages in programming, like computer languages are divided into two types. That is high level language and low level language. Okay. Yeah. So there are two types of languages called high level and low level, and C language falls under middle level language because it has both the features of high level language plus low level language. That is why it is called as middle level language. So that is what discussed yesterday. Now what we are talking about is history of C language. So in 60s, like 1960s, there were so many computer languages used for uh, you know uh, different purposes. Okay, like so we have a language called basic. Okay, so basic is a language which is learnt by most of the beginners. Like if you want to start any computer programming language, then you need to start with basic language. Like now how people are learning C language, same way by the time people were learning basic as the first language. Okay, basic stands for beginners all purpose symbolic instruction code. That is the full form of basic. Okay, so what is use of basic language? To develop any application using basic. Generally basic is used for learning uh, coding skills. Like initial days people were learning basic first in order to go for any other further language. First they were learning basic. Okay, so same way we have some language called COBOL. So COBOL stands for Common Business Oriented Language. Okay. So what is use of basic? Generally, it is learned by beginners. Okay. So beginners always starts with the programming skills where they will start with basic. Coming to COBOL language, it is used for developing commercial applications or business applications. Commercial or business applications. Okay, so if you want to develop any you know business applications or commercial applications, then people were using to develop commercial or business application, people are using COBOL. Okay, so coming to the way how this basic was designed means, if you want to write any program in basic language, you need to write line numbers. Actually, line numbers, like if you are starting with the program, first we need to start with start. Okay, then after that line numbers will be there, 10, line number 10, next line number 20, 30, like that. Line numbers will keep on generating by basic language. Okay, so once it is done, if you want to run it, you can run it using the respective. There are different basic uh, versions are there or flavors are there, like Q basic, GW basic, gateway basic, Q basic, quick basic, like that. There were so many, but here you need to remember line numbers are mandatory for everything, and you need not use any statement terminator like semicolon or dot or something is not required here. Okay, that is the behavior of, I mean, syntax of basic language. Coming to COBOL language, it is look like a book kind of syntax. It will be following. Like you need to write divisions first when you are starting with COBOL coding. First, we need to start with the what you call divisions. Okay, some identification division, data division, like that. There are so many divisions there are there in COBOL language. So where we need to write a paragraph, first we need to mention paragraph, and you cannot write everywhere, guys. All the division names you need to start with eighth column, means you have to be very specific where you're writing code also. You cannot write wherever you want in the editor. So now in notepad, I can start from here or I can start from the middle also. Nobody will ask me when I type something. But coming to COBOL language, you need to start, here you can see in the bottom, line number 14, column number 1. So if I keep on giving spaces, then column number means character. Spaces, how many spaces? 8. Column 8 is coming in the bottom now. That means here I need to give para 1, something like that. Para 1, first paragraph. So like that, 8. After that, you need to start your code from 18th column. Oh, sorry, 13th column. From here I need to start. If I want to write anything, I need to start from here. Okay. So like this, I need to start the coding in COBOL. So you can't write wherever you want. You need to follow some column spacing, divisions you need to follow. Okay. So like that, you need to write coding in COBOL. But remember guys, COBOL is meant for developing commercial or business applications. Okay. So coming to the engineering purpose, like now nowadays all the people are using C language. Of course, people are migrating to Python and all. Previous days, people were using Pascal language. Pascal. Okay, it is used. There is no full form for Pascal, guys. The name of the scientist they used for the programming language called Pascal, used to develop engineering applications. Okay, so and there is another language called Fortran. Fortran stands for Formula Translations. That was the name of Fortran. So it's used for scientific application development. Okay, it's used for developing scientific applications. Okay, like research, whatever scientists will do research, right? For those people, Fortran was widely used by those people, scientists. Okay, so by the time like this, we have so many different languages, computer languages were invented, and each and every language is meant for a specific purpose. Then why don't we have a common language for all these purposes? Suppose if a person started learning basic as a beginner, after that he depends upon his interest, he moved to COBOL, he learned COBOL and developing some applications. Then the company got a project on scientific related. Then this guy need to learn Fortran. So he already learned basic and COBOL, now he need to learn Fortran. Again after few months or years, again they got a project in Pascal, I mean engineering application they need to develop. Then he or she need to learn Pascal. So every language follow different syntax and different way of coding. Then this guy is getting confused by following some rules from one language, like COBOL is saying you have to terminate, you need to follow the book kind of divisions, paragraphs, and you need to put full stop for at the end of every line. If you don't give full stop, it's an error. Okay, so like that there are some rules in COBOL. So he's following some rules in COBOL as per this language, and here line numbers are mandatory, of course it will be given automatically. And coming to Pascal, again all lowercase letters, small letters, here all capital letters. Like that different rules will be followed, or different syntax will be there for different languages, guys. In this scenario, the developer who is learning, the programmer who is learning all these languages are getting confused by following different languages. Like for us, if you learn a language today, like English, anyhow we keep on learning from the beginning of our school education. uh, Coming to any other language, new language you have learned, okay, like French you have learned. Okay, after that you have learned something like Spanish. Okay, so after that you will learn something like Sanskrit. So you practiced all these three languages together, and you went to some other place, and someone asked you to speak in Spanish or French. Then you may be using some words from French, some words from Sanskrit, some words from English, some words from French, like that. It will be mixed because you may be confusing. It might be chances are there to get confused between many languages. So that is why So there is a guy called Dennis Ritchie, who is the father of C language. Dennis Ritchie. Okay, started a committee to invent a common language for all the purposes. That is the actually intention of developing C languages. So he is also called as father of C language. Dennis Ritchie is the father of C language. Okay, he is the scientist. He started a committee called International Committee. Committee called International Committee. That is the name of the committee, guys. International Committee. So he invented all the people from US. Okay, and he asked all the scientists who are interested to join in the committee, you can join, or else you develop your own language which is able to solve the problems for all the type of applications, and you can submit me so that I can validate, and if it is really meeting our requirements, definitely we will launch it as common language for all purposes, generic language like that they thought, and he announced it. Okay, then some people joined in the committee and they were helping. So where it is happened, so uh, he started the committee at committee at AT&T Bell Laboratories of USA. Okay, USA AT&T Bell Laboratories. He started this committee and asked everybody, interested candidates, to join in our committee, or else you develop your own language and submit me so that I can validate. Okay, so from this committee, the first language which was released was Algol 60. Algol 60 was the first language. Okay, which is released by International Committee, which is stands for, Algol stands for algorithmic language. Algol 60, that was the first language which is said to be algorithmic language. That was the first language launched by International Committee. But it seems very difficult to see, and it has a lot of features. Okay, so it was failed actually. So it was not met the requirements of Dennis Ritchie. He said, okay, we need to see something else like that. It's very tough to understand, first of all. Okay, so that's why they kept aside. Algorithm language is good, but it's not that much effective like that. They stopped it, and later a few years they came up with a language called CPL, which stands for Combined Programming Language. Combined Programming Language. That was the first, the next second language, which is mostly satisfied language by many people in the team, and so they were feeling happy after watching the features, and you know the features and the performance of combined programming language. They were happy with it, but still Dennis Ritchie is not satisfied because it is having so many features of it. Okay, there are so many features in combined programming language. So if I give it to a beginner, definitely they will be confused by watching so many features of the language, so that they are in thinking, and what Dennis Ritchie did was he picked up only the good features of CPL, and he named it as BCPL, stands for Basic Combined Programming Language. Guys, are you listening? Hello, guys, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So Dennis Ritchie started a committee called International Committee at AT&T Bell Labs of USA. After that, he came up with first language Algal 60, which is very tough to understand. So they kept aside, and they released CPL, which is good, but it is having so many features. Then he released BCPL, which is having only the good and the required features of CPL. So he's okay, happy, but still he's in a dilemma whether I need to launch it or we need to add something to it. Meanwhile, there is another person called Ken Thompson. Okay, developed a language called B language and submitted it to international committee. Okay, so he gave it to international committee saying that I developed a language called B language, so please have a look on it. If it is really meets your requirements, definitely use it, and let me know how it is helping you. Like that, he announced it and he submitted that language called B to the international committee. So then, uh, after watching these features of B language, Dennis Ritchie was very happy and he said that, okay, why don't we use B language features also in our BCPL? Like that, he added this, Dennis Ritchie added this B language plus BCPL together, guys. Ritchie added B language plus BCPL together, and he named it as C language. Okay, so now what is C language? Actually, C language is equal to the combination of B language plus BCPL, which is said to be basic combined programming language. B language is given by Ken Thompson. BCPL is came from international committee. So finally, in 1972, okay, 1972, Dennis Ritchie announced Ritchie released C language, okay, into the market. So 1972 C language released. So Dennis Ritchie is called as father of C language. He is called as father of C language. Okay. So they might ask you in which year C language is released. 1972. Who released it? The father of C language, Dennis Ritchie. Dennis Ritchie. Okay. He is called as father of C language. These points you need to remember, guys. And so why they named it as C language? Why not A B C me like that? People will say, but there are no proofs for A language. A is there or not? Some people will say A language was there, but there is no actual proof for A language. But B is there, and it is written by Ken Thompson, and that will be given to uh, you know international committee, which is led by Dennis Ritchie. Finally, he added B plus BCPL. He named it as C language. People will say why they named it as C, because after B the letter is C, that's why they named it as C. There is one people will say, but the meaning, the purpose of C is it's a complete language which is used for all the purposes. Now with C language you can develop any type of application, so beginners can understand easily C language, like you people. And COBOL you can develop, you need not go for COBOL to develop business applications. You can develop, and you can develop engineering applications using C language, scientific applications using C language, and whatnot, games. Okay, so what kind of applications you can develop? Okay, C language is used for the following purposes. So generally C language is, if you go to IT industry, software companies where they will use C language means it is used for machine programming, guys. Used for machine programming. So what is machine programming? It is also called as embedded devices programming. Like it is used in you know devices like machine programming or system programming. You can call it as system programming. Okay, it is used to develop, okay, device drivers. Like device drivers means a software. Suppose you bought a new printer, you connected that printer to your laptop or system. Okay, you are trying to take printouts from the laptop, guys. When you're trying to do it, it might not be directly taking printout until unless if you install any drivers. So what is this driver software? Previously they were giving a CD compact disc or DVD while giving while selling this printer. So nowadays people are giving online website. They are providing all the device drivers for printers, scanners, and all. So because of the driver software, if you are able to take a printout, it is able to it will work actually. So device drivers are the softwares which will be installed in your laptop or system, which gives communication between your device and the printer, or your device and the scanner, kind of any other external device you are connecting. We need some device driver software. So how do we develop this device driver software? With the help of C language. Because wherever machine interactivity is there, you can use C language. And it is used to develop games, guys. If you want to develop any games, okay, so you can use C language and C++. Still some companies are developing games using C and C++. Of course, once Android came become familiar, people are going for Android games or iOS games. But the initial days, people were using only C language for developing games. Okay. And you can also use it is also used in embedded programming. Okay. So like embedded embedded programming means like if you see like what do you call washing machines, automatic washing machines, right? Automatic, fully automatic washing machines. So how washing machine will work? You can select the program, and you can specify the time, washing mode. All will be mentioned with buttons, right? You are pressing buttons on the washing machine, right? But all these things will be installed in a small device. That device or chip will be kept in your washing machine, so that it works automatically. It will on automatically when the power is off. Whenever power comes, it will continue from there, like that. All our memory, everything is happening with the help of C programming. Okay. So and microwave ovens also. Okay. Microwave ovens. Okay. There also we use this kind of programming, C programming. Embedded device means any device that we keep, any device like a oven, or it may be washing machine, or any other device. If that is automatically working, means that is with the help of C programming, guys. For that purpose also we can use it. And you can develop your own compiler. It is used to develop your own compiler, own operating system also you can do. Okay. Or compilers you can develop, etc. Okay. And of course some people will develop virus applications, used to write virus programs. Okay. Some people develop viruses and they will send into market, right? So these viruses can also be developed using C language. Okay. So like this, C language is used for many purposes, guys. So mainly it is meant for system programming or device driver programming. Games you can develop. You can develop embedded coding, embedded devices. You can use C language. And you can develop your own operating system using C language, or you can develop your own compiler, like compiler or interpreter, any application you can develop. And you can also develop virus applications, or if you want to develop any antivirus application, that is also possible, guys. So these are all possible with the help of C language. Okay. That's why C is famous for many beginners are learning C language, because it has all the features. You can develop any type of application. Okay. So you can develop your own operating system, is that you can understand the power of C language. Okay. So initially there was if you want to say how C language is the best, means one example you can say. So initially they develop Unix operating system in assembly language actually. Okay. So initially Unix operating system developed in assembly language. Okay. So after that they came to know that, okay, C language is released in market. Why don't we use C language features? Means then they wrote, later they rewrote Unix operating system in C language. That's why from that day onwards, C language, is famous for, because Unix is very powerful operating system that is made in C language means definitely C language is more a powerful language, like that they thought, and they are appreciating C language. You know, like that you can understand. You can say this example how is powerful means you can say Unix is the one of the best operating systems in the market. Uh, that Unix operating system initially launched developed using assembly language, but later on they rewrote using in C language. That's why C language is popular. Okay, so like that you can understand the power of C language, guys. Okay, so from Unix operating system they released the Linux operating system. Okay, because Unix was a paid version, Linux operating system is a free version. That's why people are using Linux operating system nowadays, most of the people. From Linux operating system the Android operating system was released. Okay, because in Android they are using Linux kernel only. Kernel, there is something called kernel in Linux that is used in a Android operating system, which is used in your mobiles, guys. Okay, so this is all about the history of C language. So why C is popular, in those days like 72 still people are using C language. Even in, if you go to some companies, still they are using C++ language for gaming development or any embedded programming. For all these purposes still they are using C language, so that you can understand. So there are so many decades are over, but still people are using C language. Means that is the power and popularity of C language. That's why every BTech student will have any branch, irrespective of the branch. It may be computer science or mechanical or civil or electronic, electronics, whatever branch you are taking. So definitely C language will be there in the first year of your undergraduation. Okay, so if you learn C language you can learn other languages very easily, guys. There is no rule that you have to learn C language first, but if you learn C and you can understand other languages very easy. That is why we always recommend you to start the C language for freshers. So we need to install a software before writing a program in C language. In order to write a program in C language we need to learn some basics like keywords, operators, input output statements. All these we'll discuss in tomorrow's session, guys. Okay.